The Bank of Canada lowered its key interest rate again today, but it was less than what was announced last year. Much of the report was dominated by the external forces working against the Canadian economy, primarily the uncertainty of tariffs from President Trump's administration, the details of which seem to be changing by the day.
We have three main messages this morning. First, inflation has been close to the 2% target since last summer. Monetary policy has worked to restore price stability. Second, lower interest rates are boosting household spending and economic activity is picking up. But third, the potential for a trade conflict triggered by new U.S. tariffs on Canadian exports is a major uncertainty. This could be very disruptive to the Canadian economy and is clouding the economic outlook.
Tessa Bennett has the story for us. Tessa, what are the key takeaways from this announcement?
Manisa, the Bank of Canada delivered a policy rate cut of 25 basis points, which was expected, but explained the path forward for our country's economy is uncertain.
I do need to be clear, it's still going to be difficult to be precise about the economic impacts because we have little historical experience with tariff changes of the magnitude that the U.S. is contemplating.
There was some good news for the Canadian economy delivered Wednesday morning, but it came with a warning. Bank of Canada Governor Tiff Macklem once again lowered the country's key rate by 0.25 percentage point, bringing it down to 3%, making it the 6th consecutive cut. And while the widely expected move is positive for Canada's financial systems, it's being overshadowed by what's to come.
U.S. trade policy is a major source of uncertainty. There are many possible scenarios. There's a lot we don't know. We don't know what new tariffs will be imposed, when, or how long they will last. We don't know the scope of retaliatory measures or what fiscal supports will be provided.
President Trump has long been threatening the launch of a full-scale tariff war, but this was the central bank's first announcement following his inauguration. Trump had initially described the 25% taxes on Canadian exports as a day-one priority, but that has since been pushed to February 1st.
I think this rate cut makes sense given our domestic situation, but then with all of this uncertainty from America, it was an insurance, a bit of insurance for us going into these choppy waters ahead.
In addition to the announcement from Macklem, the Bank of Canada issued a statement saying in part, if broad-based and significant tariffs were imposed, the resilience of Canada's economy would be tested. What was notably missing from both the statement and the announcement was a clear path forward. Macklem underscored the unpredictability of the president's moves, saying policymakers don't yet know what these tariffs could cover and how long Canada would be subject to them. Proving the point, on Wednesday afternoon, a two-phase plan was unveiled in a U.S. Senate confirmation hearing for the person chosen to lead Trump's tariff policy. According to the Commerce Secretary nominee, Howard Lutnick, trade penalties could be imminent, with more coming down the pipeline in the spring.
The best protection we have in Canada is trying to keep our domestic economy as strong and self-reliant as possible. Trying to forestall the tariffs by making little changes at the border isn't going to work.
In the bank's last announcement in December, Macklem said the key rate would continue to come down over the next few months, but the rate at which that happens would slow. The last cut was by 50 basis points.
I think it's too early to say what the bank will do next. Mr. Macklem has already indicated that he's going to go slower in the future, and all of the questions around the U.S. tariffs just add to the clouds in our view here.
But it wasn't all bad news. Inflation has come below the bank's target, and there appears to be a lot of slack in the labor market. Additionally, Macklem said despite the inability for economic policy to provide a buffer from tariff consequences, it might be able to help the economy move forward.
Having restored low inflation and reduced interest rates substantially, monetary policy is better positioned to help the economy adjust to new developments.
The bank will make its next rate announcement on March 12th, and in the meantime, Governor Tiff Macklem says the Bank of Canada Committee is researching various tariff scenarios and their impacts.